grind for your future. You have to persist and push for your future.
Do everything in your power so that you are eventually going to hit your goals and be great.
So you want to be successful, well then you got to prove yourself. You got to push through the dirt.
Success doesn't happen by chance. It happens by change. It happens by having a purpose and a clear plan that you can execute by taking daily action and not wasting time.
You can truly accept this, that it's going to be hard, and you don't want it to be easy. You want this to be real. You want this to be powerful. You want this to amount to something. You want to work for it. You want to go in there because you want to show up. You don't want to have that feeling of being like, I don't deserve this, because you can look back at the journey. You can look back at the sweat, the blood, the tears, the sacrifices. That's all you. That's something that you can do. And you want to be proud of that.
See, because a decision without action is only what? A good intention. Good intentions are going to get you nowhere. Dreams, goals and dreams and visions and all of these things mean nothing unless you take action towards them. So what are you going to do today that's going to drive your business to the next level? What are you going to do next week that's going to drive your business to the next level?
So when I procrastinate, even though I think that I'm giving myself a break, I'm actually going to have to work twice as hard as I would have had I just got up and done it.
Discipline is nothing more than demonstrating your decision on a daily basis. And so you got to look at the other side of discipline. When you have the discipline to do the things that you really don't want to do, you then earn the right to have the things that you really want to have.
Take a look at whatever you've accomplished so far and decide to compete with yourself so that you can do more than you've done in your past. Compete with yourself. Challenge yourself.
Will it always be joyful in this process? No, sometimes it's going to be downright painful. Growth is sometimes painful. But when the growth occurs, it is always glorious and beautiful.
In life, we all suffer one of two pains. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. I'm asking you, when your turn comes,
level, and then there's work that you do above your level. And the only way that you're going to be promoted to do work above your level is A, if you can demonstrate that you're capable of doing the work at your level, and B, if you are proactive in seeking out opportunities that expand your capability and give you a chance to work above the level that you're at.
The way through the challenge is to get still and ask yourself, what is the next right move? And then from that space, make the next right move and the next right move, and not to be overwhelmed by it because you know your life is bigger than that one moment. You know you're not defined by what somebody says is a failure for you, because failure is just there to point you in a different direction.
Nothing's going to happen unless you take that initial action. Nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change unless you put down that pen in the meeting and you sit up and you pay attention and you listen for your opportunity to speak. Nothing's going to happen unless you push yourself to go in and make the ask for that assignment that scares you to death.
My father could have been a great comedian, but he didn't believe that was possible for him. And so he made a conservative choice. Instead, he got a safe job as an accountant, and when I was 12 years old, he was let go from that safe job, and our family had to do whatever we could to survive. I learned many great lessons from my father, not the least of which was that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love.
But if you want to begin to move into your own personal greatness, if you want to begin to really enjoy a happy, successful, healthy life, you've got to be willing to go against the tide. You've got to be willing to harness your will and say, in spite of this, I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back. And I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this is what you stand for. You're standing up for your dreams. You're standing up for peace of mind. You're standing up for health. You want it. And you're going to go all out to have it.
My philosophy was a very simple one. And this is where I think film plays a big part of my life. Rudy was one of my favorite films growing up. After watching that film, I come to understand if I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day, so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, and what do you have?
Select a person who is already doing something that you'd like to do. Get to know that person. Go to the experts for advice. Don't ask the person next door, your mother, father, brother, or the guy that works beside you, because they don't necessarily know. There's no point in asking a person how to earn a lot of money if they're only earning $10,000 a year. They don't know. If they knew, they'd probably be earning a lot. It's like, don't go to a sick doctor if you want to get healthy.
Okay.
So you find someone that you can go to for advice. Get a real good book and lock into that book and start to study it. Like, I've got this one that looks like a Bible, but this is Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. I've been reading this thing now for 23 years. I'll probably read it for another 23 years. I got another good book that I brought over here today. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'm not getting a commission for selling this. The author's dead now. He's been gone for a couple of years. But Dr. Joseph Murphy wrote this book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And that's probably one of the best books that you're ever going to find, because you're going to learn something about your mind when you read this book. Okay. Now, I read a lot of books. I've got probably 1,000 books sitting in my den at home in my library. But the one that I carry it everywhere I go, and I read it all the time, is Think and Grow Rich. I never stop reading it.
Where's the value for you to reread that? I mean, you must know it well enough that...
I think I could probably recite it verbatim. But the secret is, I once read in a book where it said, when you read a good book through the second time, you don't see something in it that you didn't see before. You see something in yourself that wasn't there before. You see, when I read this, I create a greater awareness.
Bow too tightly strung is easily broken, says one of the Proverbs. Balance is a gorgeous thing. So be monomaniacal in your execution around your high-value targets, your HVTs, your mission plan, but also build in some rewards. It's going to send a gorgeous message to your conscious and your subconscious mind that, hey, this daily practice of execution around my deliverables is a beautiful thing. And you create this thing called momentum. And the monk who sold this Ferrari, I went back and I saw this recently. I think there's a whole chapter on momentum. And you become like this. I love skiing. You start off small, but as you go down the slope, you pick up momentum. A lot of people say, Robin, where do I start? I want to start a new business. I want to become a better artist. I want to find the love of my life. I want to be a world-class creative. I want to multiply my financial life. Where do I start? You just start. You just start. There's great power in the start. And when you start, life starts supporting you.
First and foremost, you need something bigger than you to be inspired about. I think we're all born with a deep and meaningful purpose that we have to discover. Your purpose in life is not something you need to make up. It's already there. You just need to discover it. That means to take the cover off of what's already there. And when you do, when you really discover what you're meant to do, it will be the reason you get up in the morning. Prior to discovering your life purpose, it's easy to become sidetracked or feel uninspired or feel like you've accomplished very little in life. But what if these feelings are simply feedback that you need to keep going, keep searching until you discover? And what if it's the universe reminding us not to settle for mediocrity, to continue experimenting for the one thing that lights you up? I also believe we're all born with a set of talents and interests that tell us what we're supposed to be doing. Lots of times they come so naturally to us, we overlook them. We think finding our purpose is supposed to be more profound or difficult, but what if it's right in front of you the whole time? Think about it. Have you ever wanted to study something that you loved, but the more logical route was to do what your parents or teachers or friends thought you should do? Well, maybe you wanted to be a potter or a musician or an artist, but ended up in business school because it was logical or sensible. If so, you're not alone. You're just off track. Maybe you really are meant to be a potter.
As soon as we got tougher, as soon as we got less PC, as soon as we got that we didn't care what they said or thought about us, we got more successful. And we started doing deals. You cannot do, a lot of transactions without hurting feelings. The old saying about to make an omelet, you got to break eggs. When everybody that's ever had an omelet, there's normally some kind of eggshell in there because they can't get all the eggshell out. Collateral damage. Fred Smith, the founder of Federal Express, said he's similar background, similar age. He was a young Marine officer, I was a young Army officer. He said when he came back from Vietnam, as soon as he realized his mistakes, the collateral damage of his mistakes did not end up with body bags, meaning dead people. He says the rest was easy. So the worst I was ever going to do is hurt somebody's feelings, make them cry. And he built Federal Express, and he's one of the icons of business who's still running the business.